other people are speaking, and we will listen when you are speaking, okay? We're going to take turns, like the talking stick in elementary school. If you remember that kind of thing, we're going to take turns, okay? Thank you.
Okay, so I just mentioned epigenetics and how it affects the chromosomes. I'm going to hand you the stick. India, go ahead.
Yeah, you need to prove how synthetic estrogen changes someone's sex and changes their DNA,
Yeah,
because chromosomes are your DNA, and changes your genetics. Synthetic estrogen does not do that. You need to prove that.
Okay.
So do you have any sources to provide that it changes your genetics and it changes your sex and makes you become the opposite sex?
I have a whole bunch. It changes the SOX9 gene and the SOX8 gene, and it changes how the chromosomes read
But does it
themselves.
make a male become a female?
In India,
Essentially,
Bird has a talking stick.
Essentially, it does.
And what you're conflating real quick, I'm going to take the talking stick real quick. What you're conflating, India, is we do not have proof that it changes your actual, like, karyotype. We are not claiming that. And you are saying that that is what sex is when you say, prove that it changes this and it changes your sex in the same sentence, in the same way like that. Sex has 5 characteristics, and HRT doesn't change your chromosome type, your karyotype, but it does change other sex characteristics. And that's what we can prove and have studies for. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so this person said it changes your chromosomes and your epigenetics. I'm asking this person to prove it, to prove that it does that, and he cannot provide me a source, and I'm still waiting for the
not
source.
misgender people. If you misgender people,
I'm
you're gonna
not
get kicked.
misgendering.
What do you mean?
I'm not misgendering.
What do you mean, India?
You didn't even
What
ask
do you
for
mean,
her
what do I mean?
pronouns.
Right.
It's a trans woman, so it's a man.
So, she, her.
No, she
All right.
has for females.
If
You're not
you
a
don't
female.
use them, then
I'm-
you're not
then
going
I'm-
to be hosted on this panel.
So you're
Like,
just gonna run away
that simple.
because you
So
already know my position. So
I'm
why
only
would I
Basic
call a man
respect
she,
is
her?
due.
India, I'm only
It's
going
not
to give you the
respect to call a
pronouns
man
Blog
she,
Blorg.
her.
Well, Blog Blorg over here doesn't know what pronouns are, so.
Like, if you're gonna run away from our argument, you know what my position is. I'm not calling men she, her. So
Bird,
just
I'm going to give you the ability to make the call on this one. So you just let me know, and she's gone if you want her to be.
She's fine. She can argue as much as she wants. She's going to be wrong anyway.
Right. Okay.
you have to prove to me how a male can become a female, because that's what you're claiming. So can you prove that, please?
Do I have to do that? Do I have to prove it to you? Because, I mean, I don't know. You're being kind of rude right now, so. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go.
You're the one that said that you're the one that said that, Mel. How am I being rude? I insulted you. Crazy to me.
Oh, I mean, if you don't know what being rude is, then, I mean, like, dude.
How was I being rude? Did I insult you?
Oh, misgendering. It's just, it's how it goes.
That's not mis.
India, if we walked
Gendering, you're a
around
man.
using he, him pronouns for you.
I'm correctly gendering.
Listen, India, I have the talking stick. If we
just
walked
be
around,
incorrect.
India, I have the talking stick. Thank you. If we walked around using he, him pronouns
I'm
for
not
you, and
talking. I'm not even
everybody
talking.
in your life was using he, him pronouns for you, how would that make you feel?
Right.
Would that be respectful?
You just be incorrect because I'm a female.
But would it be respectful?
Not a male. It's not about being respectful. You just be incorrect. I'm a female, not a male.
But would it be respectful?
It would be incorrect. If you knew what my sex was and you kept calling me he, him, you were just incorrect.
Would it freak you out? I would get she, heard. Would it freak you out if I got she,
disrespectful
heard?
because you
know
what my sex is.
India, would it freak you out
know
if
what
I
my
got she,
sex is
heard
and you keep
all
calling
day?
me
India,
he,
India,
him
hold on.
when I'm not.
India,
I mean,
hold
I
on.
don't care that.
India, you do not have the talking
Can I have the
stick.
stick?
Listen. Would it freak you out if I got she, heard all day, every day, no matter what? But as soon as you see that trans flag in there, you think it's cool to disrespect me? No, not happening. Sorry, India. No.
I'm not disrespecting you.
You are disrespecting. You're disrespecting.
So you're getting he, him pronouns.
Well, you are
How
gonna
is that
get
disrespectful to call you a man?
blog pronouns right now because you are being stupid.
You still haven't proven how males can be females. I'm
You are
still waiting
being
for that.
silly.
So can
You are
you
being
hurry up?
look up the
How
socks.
am I being
Mind
silly?
you,
You're a male.
I mean,
You need the burden proof's on you. You need
the
to provide me a source.
if I didn't have the trans flag in my profile, you'd be like, oh, this woman, but
I
you had
can hear
to,
your voice. You
you had
sound
to
like a
look.
male.
No, I do not.
I
Thank
can
you
hear
very
your
much.
voice.
You sound more like a
You
man than I
are
No, I
do.
didn't look. I
wild
actually
to
have
be
not looked
saying
at
that, India.
You sound more like a man
Wild.
than I do.
you. Look like
Your
a male.
voice
You
is
sound like
deeper
a
than
male.
hers. India, your voice is
Sure, I
You
deeper
do.
look
than
like a
hers.
child with that no profile picture.
Sure. Anyways, it
Stupid.
doesn't matter because I'm a female. He's not. He's a male. So that's the
I don't know
difference.
that. I don't know that. You didn't prove that to me.
You're a male. You have to be male in order to be
I
a
don't know.
trans
You
woman.
sound kind of
You can't.
manly.
You don't even know what a man is, so how can you say that?
You don't even know what a woman is, so how can you say that?
India,
I
you
do,
don't
an
even know
adult
what
human female, and that's not you. You're
You
not.
don't
We're
even-
gonna let the host speak.
Yeah, India, you don't even know what respect is. What is respect?
I am respecting him. I'm
What is-
using him.
what is respect?
He's a man.
No.
We're
what do
talking
you-
about
That's not
respect,
I don't have
not
the
pronouns
definition of
right now,
respect at the
India.
top of my head.
Yeah, but what is respect? What do you mean by respect?
I don't have the definition of respect at the top of my
Okay,
head.
so
So
it's when you're being respectful, you're using words, attitudes, behaviors that show, esteem, consideration, or courtesy for others. It does
Exactly.
not mean that you can disagree with them, but it's about being considerate. Like, you consider their viewpoints, and you just grant them things for the sake of being respectful, for having a conversation. You can you can disagree with it, but you are still being disrespectful if you don't,
Right.
can I have the stick, please?
I haven't disrespected you yet.
You called me a man, which is not true. I've called you a man, which is true. You're
Oh,
the
yeah.
one being disrespectful to me.
That's reactive.
You're
abuse
saying I
because you're-
sound manly because I refuse to call you she, her.
India,
even though
you do
you're a
not
man.
have the
that's
talking
reactive.
stick.
That is reactive abuse because you are being abusive.
How is reactive abuse? You're a man. You are a
That's
man. You're an adult
reactive
human
abuse.
male. That's
You are
not abusive to call you a man.
You were disrespectful
That's not
first,
abusive.
so learn how
I was not
abuse
being
works.
disrespectful. You're a
Learn
man, so
how
you're
it-
getting
learn
he,
how-
him pronouns.
Learn how abuse works, honey. I'm sorry.
It's not abusive to call you a man. You're an adult human male, so therefore you're a man.
Babe, you're messing
There you
up.
go.
You're just messing up. It's
How is that
okay
messing
to
up? You haven't even proven
it's
how
a-
males can become females. You
because
said
you're
that and you haven't
talking
proven
and
it.
being disrespectful.
So I wasn't being disrespectful. I called you
You're
he,
being
him because you are a man.
disrespectful.
You just want to run away because you can't prove it. Humans
I'm
are
not
grown
running
apart.
away. I'm
You
looking
can't
it up
prove
right now. You're
You are
just
running
being
away.
disrespectful.
You're running. I'm
You're
not being
running.
disrespectful.
You're
You're not.
running. Oh my god, you're losing.
I'm not
Oh my
running.
god, lose the
I'm not
argument.
running.
Oh my god.
You're the one saying things without being able to
You're
prove it.
crazy.
So
Oh my god.
I'm crazy, but you think you're a woman, even though you're a man with a dick and balls. Okay.
Oh,
I actually don't have that. I'm sorry. Why are you asking about my genitals?
You probably do. You probably do.
I don't. Why are you asking about my
So you have
genitals?
bottom surgery?
Yeah. Why are you asking about my
So it's just
genitals?
inverted. You
why
just
do you want to
inverted
know
your
what's
D.
in her
You
pants?
just inverted it.
Are
Why
you
does this
Why are
man
you so
want to
obsessed
be
with my
called a
genitals?
woman?
Stop obsessing with my genitals.
Why are you obsessed with women's spaces and invading them?
I'm not.
Why are you
I don't
obsessed
care
with
about women's spaces.
You are. You want to be a woman. You're claiming to be a woman. You want to be in our spaces. So why are you obsessed with us?
I am not obsessed with y'all.
You're getting offended because I recognize that you're a man.
You're
and you're
offended
getting
with
offended
calling
by
out my
that.
genitals. That's so crazy of you.
Yeah, that's not crazy. You're a man.
That is so crazy.
And you have
of
those things.
So, India, can
You're
I
just
ask
getting
you
offended.
Can I ask you a question? Why on earth should we ever listen
Go
to
ahead.
you when you simply don't care that your ideas cause harm?
I do care.
Oh,
You don't care.
How is me calling this person
well, no,
don't care.
because
You-
I've explained to you
harmful?
that
This is a man.
yeah, I've explained
You're-
to you clearly that your ideas cause harm. I provided you citations, yet you simply refuse to change your mind. So it's clear to me that you do not de facto care about these things. So I really shouldn't care about what you have to say because you don't care about others to begin with.
India, if you have a
exactly.
child,
Sorry, go ahead.
I already
India,
told you
if you
those
have a-
same
if you have
things
a
can
child-
apply to gay men.
India, if you have a child and they're trans, what are you gonna do?
I would just tell them the truth.
Yeah, you would hold a pew pew up to their head and just unalive them? Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Why are you
You're
escalating the
such a great
situation?
parent.
Why are you escalating?
You're such a great parent.
This
You're
is
escalating. I
reality.
said I would tell them the truth, and you're escalating. Typical man escalating the situation.
Oh
Never said that.
God.
Typical woman.
I said I would tell them the truth. Why are you escalating the
Typical
situation?
woman
Typical
escalating the
chaser,
situation.
Yeah, I am a
honestly.
woman. Thank you. I already know that.
No, I know. I was talking about myself. I'm sorry.
Ah,
You don't know what you're talking about,
for
India.
real.
It's for
What was
real.
I gonna
Like,
say? Oh yeah.
Well, you'd
Host.
be
There is a really quickly.
correct. You're not a
I'm gonna take
woman.
the talking stick.
go
Host.
ahead.
There is a commenter that is a friendly that would like to speak to India. I know we've got a few of us up
You
here.
don't
I'm
even
even
know what
willing
you're
to
talking.
drop if they want to come up. If you want less people up here, just let me know, okay?
Hello.
Have fun with India. I'll sit back and just crack my. Let me go make some popcorn real quick.
Okay,
Oh, no
so
problem.
India, I have a question. Do you know the fundamental differences between gender and like your biological sex?
I don't believe that they're different. I believe they're synonymous. So no.
Okay, well, you not believing they're different and them being different are two different conversations. So if they weren't different sciences, they wouldn't be taught as different sciences. That's the first thing. Gender is a sociological concept. Biology is how your chromosomes align and what grows in your pants. You see how
No.
when you actually break down the fundamentals of what they are, they have jack shit to do with each other. And what I hold on, because you were allowed to speak over everybody in here. You were allowed to disrespect this woman. And so now you're going to sit back and be told, since apparently what you wanted to know is how a female can be a male. First of all, you're asking that question in bad faith because what we all know for a fact,
How's that bad
again,
thing?
is that female and please shut up. For female and male are biological sex terms. Female and male are biological sex terms. Man and woman are gender terms. You are trying to argue that someone's identity is not valid by a completely different set of standards. Do you see how I mean lack of like bad faith?
So what is a woman then? If I'm incorrect, if a woman is not based on biology, what is a woman? I'm asking
A
you.
woman is someone that identifies and lives their life as a woman, as a
That's
feminine
circular.
presenting person.
Feminine. So you're defining women by stereotypes. You know how insane that
Oh
is.
my
What about
God,
masculine
femininity is
women?
not
Did
a
you learn this
stereotype.
stuff from
Yes, it
Edna?
is. Femininity is a stereotype.
Okay, pause.
They're a
Femininity is
stereotype.
not a stereotype.
Yes, they are.
Femininity doesn't belong to
Femininity are
men
stereotype.
or women.
You just define women by a stereotype, and you think you're the progressive one. Are you okay? Are you okay? You're defining women by
Are you
stereotype.
okay?
Are you
You
an
just
Edna
Are
said
you
fan?
okay?
feminine.
You're conflating a stereo. Please shut up. You're conflating
You
a
don't know what you're talking about.
stereotype
You're circular and
with a. Thank you. Thank you so much. And y'all are using words that you don't even really understand the definition of. I'm not equivocating anything. I'm making my point quite clearly.
So wait, hold on. I'm gonna interject
But
here too, India. We are the progressive ones because you can call our definition
you're
circular, you
not.
can call them stereotypical, but they don't cause harm to individuals. That's what your view does.
They do.
So
They
Defining
don't.
women by patriarchal stereotypes is harmful. Do you not see the
Yeah.
problem with
okay,
saying
so let's
femininity?
take okay, so you know what? You're right. Let's take the femininity piece completely out of the conversation. If a woman is not defined by identity, then what are they defined by? Because if we want to go
Biology.
by okay, so there are people that there's a wide array of what biology looks like in terms of biological sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Biology is not a binary, it is a bimodal spectrum. So again,
Sex.
what if
Yeah, can I finish?
Go ahead.
Right. So the reason why
you didn't
woman
let
is
me, but go
defined
ahead.
Okay, yeah. So a woman is an adult human female, and a female is to be of or primarily denoting the sex that can produce large gametes. Being a female isn't about your chromosomes or your private parts.
Okay, what if somebody doesn't produce any gametes?
So that's why in the definitions it says of or primarily denoting. So if
Okay,
you
so
are
I
or
denote
primarily
towards
denoting,
large gametes.
no, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You do not.
You do not
You're a
denote
male.
it.
How can you denote towards large
Well, let's
gametes?
look
You
at the
can't. You're a male.
definition of denote. I don't
Yeah,
have it on me, but like,
It just means the
bird
indication
definitely
of.
fits it.
That's
yeah.
what denoting
I have breasts,
means.
and I am denoting towards
Breasts
that.
don't denote to
I also
producing
have
large gametes.
I also have the chemical balance of a woman in my brain, and my chromosomes are being modified to be female.
Can you prove that? Can you prove
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Prove that you have
HRT.
the same chemical
There's
balance of
over.
a
Have you heard of
woman.
Dr.
That sounds
Powers?
very
Have you not heard of Dr. Powers? Dr. Powers.
bioessentialist. That sounds
Dr.
very
Powers.
bioessentialist.
I don't care. I don't care what you're calling it. Dr. Powers.
Doctor,
Dr. Powers has a study. Dr.
that's
Powers has a
bioessentialist.
study.
India, we are going back to talking stick mode. I need you to just settle down just a
Sorry,
little
my
bit for me.
connection's lacking.
I see that.
Oh, you. Your connection wasn't lagging when I. You know what? Let me shut my fat
No,
ass up.
I see her bias.
Yeah,
I see her
it was
bias.
on and off though. So yeah, you're totally right. Is it XO? Sorry, I know you.
11.
11.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
My name is
10,
11.
bro.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
it.
I got it.
When you were speaking, you were interrupted earlier, and the connection has been on and off. It was bad when Bird Defy was talking about it right now, but it wasn't bad when you were speaking earlier. So yeah, if there's anything you want to say right now, I'm gonna give 11 the talking stick.
No, I was just saying, you know what? I find it really interesting. I didn't have to deal with anywhere near as many interruptions as my trans friend below me here, but that was all I wanted to say. I'm gonna butt out now.
Okay, I guess I'll take the stick. Dr. Powers has a study of MRIs in the brain when it comes to gender identity, and all the people who identified with the gender of their, of how they felt, the MRI also showed that gender.
Yeah, can you provide the source?
Yeah,
You talking about it isn't providing a source.
And this is something that is typical, but not like always the case, to be abundantly clear as well. Which is why it can get a little, I don't know, murky. I don't know how to describe it, kind of getting into that, because it's not always the case, but it is often the case. It is the typical outcome that we see.
And also, can you provide a source on how it changes your chromosomes, please? To female
also,
chromosomes.
sorry.
Well, chromosomes don't define sex anyway, so it doesn't even matter if it changes your chromosomes. It's irrelevant. Because your chromosomes don't define your sex.
Here's the thing real quick. I think there's a misunderstanding going on between you and Bird here as well. When I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, when she's saying it changes her chromosomes, she's not saying they're no longer XY chromosomes. She's saying that it changes the way that they function in the body. It adapts how it's... yeah.
Does it change it to make him produce large gametes? Does he now start producing large gametes?
I love how you just keep misgendering like a rude person.
Do you
You just want to run
gametes
no.
At this point?
You're just not up to date with progressive science at all.
I already told you my position. Why do you think I would call you a she/her if you're a man?
Do you feel like science is progressive?
Refers to sex characteristics.
Do I feel like science is progressive?
Yes.
Well, if they find out new things, it will progress. But
exactly.
You haven't proven
what
anything.
the fuck do you think gender? Jesus Christ.
So yeah, what do you think
stop
gender
shouting?
study is?
Why is this man shouting?
What do you think gender study is?
I got very upset.
All this stuff that we're talking about, what do you think it is? It's progressive science, babe.
Can you prove it then? You keep saying a bunch of stuff without any proof. You can say anything. Prove it.
Yep. You're gonna look. What do you want? A title and a date?
Prove that a male can become a female.
Do you want a title
prove
and
that
a
you
date?
are denoting?
Wow.
Yeah, prove it. Prove a male can become a female.
Transgender brains are more like...
Prove a male can become a female. You're claiming that can happen, so prove it.
I'm literally trying to tell you the title and the date of the study, of the source. Transgender brains are more like...
You have a source that says a male can become a female, sure.
Transgender brains are... Oh my god, if you're going to look for specific words, you don't believe in progressive science at all, babe.
You haven't even said it. You just want to...
Transgender brains... Listen, you're just looking for specific words. You're not going to find specific words.
Go ahead.
Transgender brains are more like... Transgender brains are more like the design gender from an early age. It was... the date is 2018. May 25th, May 25, 2018.
What's... Yeah, what does that have to do with them becoming the opposite sex?
Oh my god, if you're not going to look it up, then what are you doing?
You know what? I have a question for you.
And you haven't even told me that...
That's the source. That's the source.
The website that this is on. Can you tell me the website?
It's on Science Daily.
Tell me the title.
Science Daily.
Science Daily.
Oh my god, I just told you. Transgender brains are more like their desired gender from an early age. That's the title. Okay. May 25, 2018.
Cue Jeopardy music, and then 11 will get to ask a question at some point.
It says new brain imaging research reveals that transgender adolescents show brain activity patterns more similar to their experienced gender than their assigned sex at birth. That's the first sentence, and it's already proven you wrong.
The greatest thing about this is that we still... I don't think she can justify any reason why we should listen to her, because her ideas are harmful. It just doesn't matter at the end of the day. She believes in an idea.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've already told you many times. I've provided you citations.
How is calling a man harmful?
That was actually really good, 11. Wow.
How is adult human female?
Yeah, so it's not that does, it's rejection of trans individuals for who they are.
Yeah, he's a man.
That is cause harming. Like, so rejecting, not affirming trans individuals causes harm. You don't affirm trans individuals, therefore you cause harm. Do you want me to bring up the notepad for this?
In the study that I just the source that I just
the notepad.
The source I just sent you actually tells you that I, identify as a woman and should be respected as women. So, have fun with that. And don't be disrespectful to people unless you want to be, called fat or something. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know if you were here for it, but the previous guest said, "What are you, his bitch?" to me. And so at the end, I asked Keaton if I could drop him, and he was like, yeah. So I said, I want to end on a good note. How's your day been? How are you doing? Yeah. And then he gets a word or two out, and I dropped him, and I said, you're my bitch. So unless you want to be disrespected in the same ways that you disrespect people, don't be disrespectful. That's all.
I've read your source, and
you did not read that whole thing because fast. Shut up.
Well, obviously I didn't read the whole thing, but I skimmed through. Can you stop talking, sir? Because I'm still talking.
Wow, you are such a bitch.
I've read. So you can call me a bitch, which is a slur.
Yeah,
but I don't call you a man. You're a whole man.
I'm calling your name.
Sorry, the B word is a slur.
My God.
It's misogynistic towards women. So this man can call me a B word.
You can call
this man can call me a B word, but I can't call him a man.
You can call me a bitch too.
Are you getting that correct? Guys, this man can call me a B word, but I can't call him a man. I called you sir, and I get called a bitch in return.
Too bad, baby.
The misogyny from these men is shocking.
It's not
the misogyny from these big burly men is crazy work. It is. You're a man calling me a B.
We have told you over and over and over.
You're a man calling me a B.
India, let somebody else have the talking stick.
What are you gonna call this?
I called you sir.
India,
and you called me a B word.
India, what are you gonna call a disrespectful woman to you? You're gonna call her a bitch.
I told you so.
You're gonna call me a bitch. I'm gonna call you a bitch.
I never called you a B word. Okay. I called you sir, and you called me a B word. You're a misogynistic man.
No,
you're a misogynistic man calling women B words.
She called you a dog. You're gonna call her a man.
India, you're gonna call a disrespectful woman to you a bitch. So I'm calling you're a disrespectful woman being disrespectful to a woman. So shut up.
Literally, I've been trying to mute.
I never called you a B word. I called you sir.
Yeah, and that's being disrespectful.
And
What are
you
you gonna
called me
call
a
a disrespectful woman when a
B-word.
disrespectful woman is a disrespectful woman to you? A bitch.
So
You're a misogynistic man. You're a misogynistic
No.
man.
No, we are
That's
just
You're
two
not a
women fighting.
woman, though. You're not.
Let people
You're
respond
not a
and
woman, though.
then
You're a
respond,
man that wants to
India.
be a woman.
We are just two
Oh
women
god.
fighting. This
You're not a
trans flag,
woman. You're a man.
that is totally your
Your
opinion.
source hasn't proven that you're a woman. You're still a man. You're
You
just a
haven't
confused
even read
man.
it. You haven't even
Oh my
read it, India.
God.
I skimmed through it.
You haven't
You're a
even read it.
confused man. That's all
I
you are.
skimmed through
You're
it.
a
Who
gender
cares?
Wait a
confused man.
second. We're gonna give
I
11 the
skimmed
talking
through
stick.
it, so I have
I
a
have a
full
whole
understanding of
of
what
it.
the fuck I'm reading.
Also,
Go
did you
ahead.
have a
Sorry,
Hear
question for
yourself.
India?
do you want me to spend like 20 minutes reading this whole source while we're having a debate? I have to skim through it. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, we could do that,
And it doesn't prove anything.
or we
It
could
doesn't
just
prove how you're a woman.
or we could just prove that you cause harm.
I'm
And why we
sorry. So
shouldn't
him
listen
calling
to
me a
you.
B word doesn't cause harm, but me calling this man a man is causing harm.
Oh,
I
100%.
called him
It's
sir, and he
psychological.
called
It's
me a B
psychological.
I
word.
have presented
It's
you with a
psychological.
Can
deductive
you
You cannot
address
argument.
the
psychologically be
argument
a
on the
woman. That's
screen, India?
bioessentialism.
Oh,
Just address
well,
the argument on the screen, India.
then that
What is a woman? Okay,
conflates
hold
your
on.
thing of
India.
like they think they
India.
can be a man. They think they can be a man. That's psychological, babe. Stop
I
losing
don't
your
think you can
argument.
be a man. You just are a man. You're an adult human male, so you're a
Stop
man.
losing your
Therefore,
argument.
how am I losing my argument? You're a man.
Because you're like
Hold
they
on.
think they're women. That's
Hold on,
psychological.
Birdfly.
Then
I'm gonna interject here. That
Yeah,
assumes that
you think you're a
that's
woman. You think your brain makes you a woman,
this
which is
is like
I am.
dancing the idea that she had an argument to begin with. Like I
She
would just
doesn't have an
reject that
argument
I do.
premise.
You said a whole bunch of stuff without being able to prove it. You said that you can become the opposite sex. You haven't proven it. You said that your brain makes you a woman. You haven't proven it. You just been
You
saying a
haven't
whole
even read
bunch
the
of stuff.
study.
You
Then be
just
calling
don't
me a
like
B
the
word because I called you a
science.
man.
No. You haven't even read the
No,
study, India.
I've read the science, and the science
You didn't
doesn't
have to
prove
read
your
the
point.
science. That was so fast. You're
Yes,
like,
I
oh,
did.
2 seconds. I read the whole
Yes, I
science.
did.
I read all the science in the whole world.
Do you want me to spend 20 minutes reading the whole thing when we're having a
Absolutely.
debate? I have to skim through it.
I know
Oh my
all the science of
God.
HRT. I am India. I know all the science of HRT and how it works
Synthetic
in trans
estrogen still
women.
will not make you a woman. Synthetic
I'm the
estrogen still
smarter
don't make you a
woman
woman.
and tell trans women that they're
You're
men
not
because
a
I'm
woman,
so silly.
period. You're just a man. You're a gender
Wait,
confused man.
India,
So that's all you're ever gonna be.
you are making an affirmative claim. Proof that Birdfly is a man, and proof that you in fact are a
Are you
woman.
male?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you male? Are you male? Are
Am
you
I
a male?
male? Am I male?
Yeah.
Male?
That's a lie. You have to be a male in order to be a trans woman. So you're a liar. So you're a man, you're a liar,
We've
and you're a
induced
misogynist.
an intersex condition with HRT, bro. Like, do you not understand what that does? It's an induced
HRT
intersex
doesn't
condition.
change your sex. It
It
doesn't change your
changes
sex. So it doesn't
certain
matter.
sex characteristics. So does
But
surgery.
sex characteristics don't define sex, though. That's the thing. Your sex is defined by gametic production, not your
What kind of
boobs or your
characteristics
inverted
don't
penis.
define
Wait, hold
sex?
on. What is gametic?
Sex
Secondary
characteristics
sex characteristics.
Hold on, India.
don't
What?
define.
Your secondary sex
So then how
characteristics
do
don't
you
define your sex.
confirm that on site? If it's chromosomal and defined by gametes, how do you determine
It's
that
not
on
defined by
site? Because
chromosomes.
mind
It's
you,
not
there is
defined
no
by
biological
chromosomes.
trait
It's not
shared by
defined by
all women.
chromosomes. Sex isn't defined by chromosomes, so I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
Then what is it? Then what is it defined by?
It's defined by gametic production.
What happens if somebody doesn't produce any gametes?
Okay,
Yeah, that's
I
why I
was
said in
ready
my
to say
definition,
what.
you have to be of or primarily denoting the sex that can produce large gametes in order
And
to
I
be a
didn't.
female.
I didn't.
That includes trans women.
You don't have that, sir.
Right.
You're a male, so you can't have that. You have
See,
to be
you're just
male in
being
order to be a
disrespectful the
trans
whole
woman.
time. Like
I'm
this
not
is.
being disrespectful. I've called you sir.
Then call
I've
me
been very respectful.
Birdify.
You called me a B word.
Then call me
You're not a her,
Birdify.
though.
Call me Birdify
No,
only then.
I'm gonna call you what you are, which is a man. You
Wow,
are a
see,
man.
that's disrespectful. You won't use my name, but
That's
you'll
not
use
disrespectful.
my
You're a man.
pronoun.
You don't want to accept it.
I'm going to interject and say if you want, because you don't have mod powers here, if either of the other panelists want India gone for this kind of disrespect, just say something and she's gone.
So you're gonna run away.
Well, if you don't use Birdify,
You're
then you're being
running.
disrespectful. Or call me Bird. If you want to call me
It's
anything,
not
call me Bird.
disrespectful. You're just
It's not disrespectful. It's so
a
disrespectful.
man.
Call me Bird. If you don't call me Bird, you're getting dropped.
Not calling
Her.
That's my name, though.
Hold on, you're
you bird
talking
unless I need to.
about
India, I've used your
It's not
name
bioessentialism.
disrespectful to
You're
recognize what you are. I'm not calling you bird, sir.
Oh my God, you're so fucking silly. You're such a you're so
So
you are
hold on. I
you're
have a
such an
question for
interesting
you.
Now I
person.
know.
What does bioessentialism mean to you? When you say bioessentialism in the context that you use it, what do you mean? Hello?
You've
Oh,
got really
Jeffrey.
awful connection, it seems.
Yeah. Saying that psychology. There's not one, you know.
Girl, we cannot even hear you. You might need to come back
Yeah,
if
saying
you
that
can get better connection.
there's a psychology of a woman.
What?
Hold on.
India, just use my name. Don't use any pronouns for me, India, because
Can you
I'm
hear
not
me
using
now?
India. I'm not using any pronouns for you at all. I'm only saying India, India, and India, India. If you could just use bird,
I will
then we'll
use
be
your name
respectful
when
to
I
each
need
other.
to. I will use
No,
your
no, you
name when
only
I
use my
need
name.
to.
Like when I say India
I
said,
will
this is
I
what
will
how India
use
said it.
I will use your name when
You
I
will
need to.
you will
No,
not use
why are you telling
any
me what to do?
pronouns for me
This
then.
controlling man is telling me what to do. Like, what the fuck?
This is
I will use
no,
your
this
name
is
when
my
I need to.
boundaries. No,
See how
India,
this
India,
man
this
is
is
so
boundaries.
controlling, like forcing me what
Boundaries.
type of words I should use. Like,
India,
what the
India,
hell? That's not a
India, this is
boundary.
Oh,
You're a man.
but
It's not a boundary. That's not how it works. Pronouns don't work like that.
oh
I
my
dropped the
god.
wrong person. Sorry about that. I was hearing man and sir and he and him
Oh
and
my
Bilge
god.
said
Like
if you
that
if
was
yeah,
exhausting. That was
please come
exhausting.
back up. You're welcome back
And,
up. I'm so
and
sorry about that accident. I'm the best live
I'm sorry.
moderator to have ever been.
And people like that expect you to present a coherent argument and do that. Oh my fucking god. Holy
Genuinely.
shit.
I
The anti-intellectualism I just listened to, I feel like I lost brain cells. I'm gonna go smoke. Y'all have a great day.
Oh, that's what I've been doing. You too. I'm so sorry about that, Bird. I meant to drop
No, no, no,
India
no. It's
because
fine.
I
It's
heard
fine.
you when you said, if you don't use Bird or my name, then
Only use my
you're
name, and
gone.
that's
And
all I
I
was asking for. That's a boundary. That is a safe boundary for me.
absolutely
oh,
Right.
India requested again.
nah.
Nah.
Psychological abuse, like for real, for real.
I'd rather not have any op than have India up here right now.
I
That's exhausting sometimes.
I'm just, if she ever comes back, I'm just gonna run this as a back. I'm actually gonna save this.
Yes, get it saved. At the ready to pull up speed dial when she comes back.
Yep. We have a text
Stop
option.
running. There's no such thing as running when disrespect is around.
Stop.
Also, if you want me to mute her in the comments, let me know.
No, it's okay.
Nah,
Okay.
India, just stop being
I
a
have-
bad person. It's
I have very
really
thick
easy
skin.
to do.
So fair. Most of us trans folk do at a certain
Yeah,
point.
it's abuse. It's abuse, India.
Absolutely. But if this makes you feel any better, I believe it was India. I have a clip of her, like, we had this whole debate, and then at the very end I said, can I ask you a question? And she was like, yeah. And I said, what sex and or gender do you think I am? And she said, well, I don't know, I'm just gonna ask you. And I was like, no, we're asking what you think.
Oh,
And she
wow.
said, from what I've heard, you sound like a male, so a man. And I was like, nice try, you know. Keaton immediately
Right.
went, yeah. So that was really fun
India had
and
to look at my
affirming for me.
profile.
But yeah, I'm non-binary, so but like
Right.
I'm AFAB, so it's affirming when people perceive me as masc or a man. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it was really fun, especially from GCs to like experience that. It's pretty funny because they can always tell, right?
Non-binary. India.
Wow.
laughs.
India,
Lol.
you're so disrespectful.
Yeah,
The
she's.
laughing face is not necessary.
I actually have no reason to, like, India's gonna have to prove why we should listen to her because her ideas cause harm at this point.
Yeah, her
Period.
profile
That's where
picture
we
isn't
gotta
It's
even
like
her
start.
picture.
it's like you've actually regressed from me giving you basic respect and maybe listening to you to the point where you have to prove that we should listen to you now because you're actually so disrespectful and such a bigot that you cause harm and you got to dig yourself out of the hole that you dug for yourself now, India. It's
put your camera on and then we'll talk to you.
Are we good to go on to the next?
I am if you are.
Also, hello, Birdfy. Nice to meet you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
nice to
doing
meet
alright.
you.
I'm a he/him. I'm just a cis white guy. If that helps.
Okay, cool. That helps.
Yeah.
Very educated, though, I will say. I have watched the same video that a lot of our research notes are on, and then Keaton's the one who went back and rewatched it just to take notes on it, that he has since shared with people. So he's very educated. And especially, I mean, sometimes it's important to just kind of recenter back on trans voices, and I think being cis, and correct me if I'm wrong, Keen, sometimes you can just like not realize that you're not centering trans voices as much as you should be, but you're typically pretty good at it. And anytime I'm like, okay, let's center back on trans people, you're like cool with it and all that good stuff. So yeah, we definitely want this to be a panel where trans people are heard.
Yeah, and generally, like, you're more educated than me on stuff, so, like, if I don't know for a fact that I'm not, if you say I'm wrong about something, I'm just gonna grant it to you. But if you're wrong about something, I will correct you still.
Yeah,
I also
absolutely.
have this thing called cis supremacy, where people just listen to me more, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a problem, but, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm trying to use it for something good then. So...
I just put in the comments.
Exactly.
India's like, science is progressive, but when it's trans women, nah.
Literally, their best arguments are nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh. Science isn't progressive with trans people.
No way.
No way.
Oh, did that person come up and then drop? Or not connect?
They didn't connect.
We love science, but we hate it when it's for trans people.
Right.
We do have...
Stupid.
And also, I would just like to say to that whole gametes argument, that refers to your reproductive role. And we're talking about whether the difference between a man and a woman. Is your identity defined by your reproductive role?
Exactly. It's so dehumanizing.
I'm confused. You keep referring to yourself as a female. You could be talking about anything from an animal to an HDMI cord. What the fuck are we doing here?
Exactly.
So question: if you can plug a HDMI port and a display port cable into the same port and it works as both, is it an HDMI port or is it a display port?
That would be crazy.
It's a port.
It's a port.
I was ready to say it's a hole. It's a hole.
So a little science. Breasts are part of the reproductive system, but indirectly. But breasts are part of the reproductive system, and if trans women have breasts, like actual breasts, which they do grow actual breasts with mammary glands and everything, they can. Trans women can lactate under the right medication, just like any adoptive parent. So, that is part of the reproduction system. So, like, that is denoting towards large gametes.
It's also like
I love the
occasionally lactate as well. It's kind of rare.
Yeah,
but they can do it. It's very funny to me that it happens too. It's like, huh.
Yeah, and then I was thinking that the entire time, Bird, because although I am trans mask, I have a special interest in sex and gender, and so I kind of just like know things from both directions, as well as my sister and her wife are also trans, but obviously MTF rather than FTM like myself. So I got to learn a lot from them as well. I just find it so interesting that all bodies are equipped to like develop breast tissue and lactate potentially. Yeah, I was thinking that the entire time. So exactly.
And we even see this in instances where men have like gynecomastia, and so I just found it really and I found it really funny because she was like, it has nothing to do with chromosomes. Okay, well, you're conflating sex with gender, and sex involves, does it or does it not involve chromosomes? I'm so
That's
confused. That is
Sorry, that is one of the 5 sex characteristics. So it is
Yeah.
involved, but it does not define, obviously, because there's 5.
Okay.
You gotta consider all of them.
It's
So
like
it
one
can
of the
so it can denote them, but not. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like under like typical circumstances, so we're gonna just say average, normal, like how if we're not talking about people with like genetic conditions and stuff. Generally speaking, if you have a Y chromosomes, you're gonna develop into a male. If not, you're gonna develop into a female. But that's not the only thing that denotes which way that's gonna go. Typically.
Right.
So, or
Yeah.
if you sometimes there's cases where like parts of development just don't take over generally. But yeah, that's like it's a part of it, but there's not like one single individual factor that will determine which way development goes, or if it goes down the middle, or what path it goes. It's a combination
Yeah.
of numerous factors that makes when people say there's a gender binary, I always see it as like this very black and white. Hey, it's either male or female, and everything goes either down the male path or the female path. But that's like clearly not the case.
That's
Yeah, and
not at all the case.
Yeah.
11, you mentioned earlier that sex is a bimodal spectrum, correct?
Yes.
So that's why that's like the spectrum is the consideration of all 5 sex characteristics, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it's chromosomes, gamete production, internal genitalia, external genitalia, and something else that I can't remember right now. I always forget one of them, but yeah, there are 5 that all make up. Like if 3 of your sex characteristics are female
Hormone
and 2
production,
are
right?
male, that would be a unique intersex condition that would fall more towards the center of the bimodal distribution that is sex, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say hormone
Wait,
production
what?
as much as hormone like absorption, because there's things like androgen
Okay.
Yeah,
sensitive
hormone.
syndrome. Yeah,
Hormone profile was the one I was forgetting. Sorry, I interrupted.
but hormone profile is a little bit more complicated than just like like what looking at directly. You have to look at how the body's reacting to hormones as well, which gets kind of complicated as well.
It is so very complicated with things like androgen insensitivity. Yeah.
If 11,
And
if you
that's
want
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
video,
You can't.
I would recommend Forrest Valkai has a video called Sex and Sensibility. It's like an hour and a half long. It's a little bit long, but it's I think one of the best videos in terms of like just getting an introduction from knowing nothing about sex and
Oh, I love
that
the
kind of stuff.
educational
I'd second
long-form
that.
content.
Yeah, he's
I love
Valkai
that.
is he has a master's in biology or something like that, or biological something. And he's been doing science communication for a number of years, so he's very well informed on the topic. So
Okay. I always want to learn how to better advocate for people in these spaces as a cis man because I understand how much damage we are like responsible for perpetuating, and so not as individuals, but just kind of as a conglomerate. So just try to be an ally in the ways that I can.
Right.
Kudos for doing the work. Genuinely,
Kudos.
seriously.
I don't know if you.
Thank
I was on
you,
somebody's
thank
live
you.
the other day, and people like congratulating. It was just like they're like congratulating me for like just being a decent human being. I'm like, does that really deserve being congratulated for? Like,
like
I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's-
it does. There's a lot of
that.
not decent human beings out there. There's too many.
Yeah, honestly, and deconstruction is work. So that's what I'm saying. Kudos for it, even though I think we should all be deconstructing in certain ways that are individual to us. obviously, but like, you're up here doing the work. It is work, so that's kudos for that, even if it is kind of big slide.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I'm about to finish. I'm about to finish my session. Bye. It was nice to meet y'all. I followed everyone. Hold on.
Oh, thanks.
Yay! It was nice to meet you as well.
It's been a while
Nice
since
to
You're
meet
welcome up anytime.
How dare Cole you say who could come up anytime? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, honestly, though, if you do ever disagree when I say that, say it, and I'll like stop saying things because it's not my live, it's not my decision. But I typically don't say that unless I'm like 90+% sure you agree.
No, it's all good. Yeah, it's generally people who I get along well with. They're generally gonna be allowed back up. I don't really care that much. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We have for once in our life a YouTube viewer that just was naturally generated by YouTube, which is I haven't seen ever. I know, right?
You know, and typically GCs are pro-life.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
They seem to just.
That also
I don't
that
get
also
it. They
goes
want to
hand in
protect
hand.
women, but then they go pro-life, which doesn't protect women. So it's just like
Right.
Exactly.
this is just not a logically consistent. Like you can't be
They're
logically
confused.
consistent if you hold these more conservative views. Usually, I just like I understand where they're coming from, sort of, but it's just when you dive too much into it, it just
Right.
it all falls apart on its face.
I work on like I sometimes I like or most of the time. Sometimes I work on movie sets and stuff. And I make sure that I go around to like the women that are working on the crew and I make sure like I tell them like, "Hey, is it okay if I use, the women's restroom?" And they said, "Yeah, of course, girl. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, I just wanted to make sure that you are okay with it because I am trans." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's totally fine." They were like, "Yeah, some of them know me before transitioning, but I have, been accepted into their space and they bring me into their space."
Exactly, and that's something as well that people don't consider. Like, if it is a small enough space where you might have known some people for a time, we're gonna ask to be respectful of like other people's boundaries typically. And we're not trying to insert ourselves into spaces that we either like other people are uncomfortable with us being there. Maybe it's sex related if it's like a locker room, maybe.
Right.
But if
Oh yeah, I
you're
won't go into a locker room. Hell no.
yeah, but like you are completely externally phenotypically female.
Mhm.
So I don't think anybody would know that like and that's kind of my point. We don't insert ourselves into
Right.
spaces that we don't look like we belong in.
Oh yeah, I make
If
sure
that
that
makes sense.
I ask a manager at a place at a like an establishment. I'm like, "Hey, which bathroom should I use?" I'll ask them like, "Which bathroom should I use?" and not being like, "Can I use the women's?" And they'll be, I'm like, "Which one do I go into?" And they're like, "Women's." I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Exactly.
I am not I'm not forcefully inserting myself into these spaces. I make sure that all women are okay with me before going into it. Not all of them, but the ones at work, the ones that if I'm at an establishment and they don't have a third space, I'll ask them which one I go into, and they usually say women. So, oh, India is still listening. Hi, disrespectful girl.
Right. Nothing better to do.
Nothing better to do. Obsessed with trans women.
And apparently what's in people's pants. Which I find just so funny every time they do it, because obviously, like, we're painted as the PDF files,
Right.
and they're being the creeps. I'm not saying PDF files, but if they want like checking like genital checks going into restrooms, which some of them do, that is PDF file behavior 110%.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's absolutely insane. So you calling us that and then being that, the irony is just screaming.
It's also ironic that they're the views that actually, like, I can definitively say leads to higher rates of, like, children being sexually, or I guess adolescents being sexually assaulted. It's like,
Essayed.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I don't care. I've been just saying things recently, and TikTok just
You're not getting violations.
I'm not getting
so
violations.
Weird.
India, you're not Hello Kitty, so why are you lying?
India is like, I don't know. They should
least,
go care about other people before they come back.
At least I have a profile picture up and I have the trans flag, so like, you know, I am telling my full truth. You are Hello Kitty and I don't believe you.
What am I then?
In your profile picture.
No,
I'm over here. Right, and I'm over here just a blob of white.
Hello Kitty pumpkin star spider webs. I don't know what gender you are now.
You're the only one claiming to be someone you're not. Well, I think
no, I'm a trans woman.
Yeah, no. I would say that India is claiming to be a good person when they're not. So
right, I am claiming to be I am definitely a trans woman for sure.
And she's for sure claiming that she does not cause harm when she in fact does.
Oh, so India, so you're saying that a woman's a man?
So I ask the female manager which bathroom I should go into, and she tells me that I should go into the women's bathroom. Is crazy for you to try and say that a manager is wrong, you know? Crazy. And it's totally weird for you to say that all the women on the set that I work on are wrong.
If trans women are a type of man, then why are they called women?
Yeah, right.
Why are they trans women and not trans men? I don't understand.
That's like
this
saying
logic
that sports cars are a type of semi-truck.
Hello Kitty, you need to be quiet. I'm just gonna call you Hello Kitty from now on.
Right. Again, if you want me to mute her, let me know.
It's
no. I've gotten a lot of thick skin. I've talked to Edna. You know, Edna.
Oh my God, Nate.
me and Nate have talked before too.
Ooh, we got her.
Hello Kitty. Oh my God.
Synthetic
leather feels like leather. It's leather.
Well, yeah, but like synthetic is like clearly denoting to it being made out of like chemicals. Not
being what it's describing. Like it's literally saying whatever I'm describing, it's not actually what I'm describing.
When
That's
you're bringing
what
up
synthetic means.
But I feel like it denotes the leather too, because it feels like it.
It does denote to leather. So there could be an argument made both ways.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but estrogen is made like from bacteria or something. Like we basically
genetically
modify. It's likely bacteria, because a lot of the times when we're making like.
I know you're just being silly, Hello Kitty.
You know what? And I'm not advocating for this, but I need to look more into, just so that I understand how they're made, DIY HRT, which for some people who can't afford it, I'm not saying to do it, but I'm saying it's a thing that exists, and that if somebody were to try it, they better do damn good research and have damn good resources to be able to do it. Because you don't want to fuck that up and then put it in your body and then have problems.
But all the false things. No. You can stay down there.
You're saying the false things.
Yeah, I really want to, because I have a special interest in sex and gender, but that's not something that I've necessarily looked into. It's more of like who we are as people, I guess, as trans people, that I have a special interest in, or cis people, even just gender and sex as a whole, and intersex people as well. I definitely love learning about different intersex conditions on that bimodal spectrum that is sex. And the way that HRT is made is not something that I've looked into. So thanks for bringing that up, because I want to look into it now.
So you want to run? No, we didn't run. You're just being disrespectful.
No, I don't.
You won't even say, you won't. Hello Kitty. You won't even say my name. You won't even use my name as my pronoun, just to say like, Bird said this. Bird does this. Bird is not being like Bird. You know, like it's just like you can use names instead of pronouns to be respectful, but you don't even want to do that.
If you don't know what respect is,
you don't know what respect is. I'm sorry.
literally. Okay, this is a weird thing I'm gonna randomly talk about. I have a range, and my prosody is interesting, and it depends on like if I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, or if I'm upset, or if I'm happy. Like it depends, and it also like time of day, which I already knew would affect like my pitch a bit. And just like where I'm speaking in my range, depends on all that. But since being on T and going through male puberty and having that thickening of my larynx, it's so interesting to me how my voice feels and how my voice sounds now. And Birdify, you actually would be able to attest to this probably in the other way around because of the care that you've gotten for yourself, which is really interesting. So we're just kind of both observing these interesting changes and like I don't know how to describe it, but it's just really interesting, cool, fun. I love it.
Yeah. The I can feel the bass in your voice.
Yeah, at
really
certain
cool.
times for sure. And it's so fun. And like the feeling of like and I went to college for music, but I didn't start tea until well after I was out of college. Or not long after, but I was out of college.
Gotcha.
And I've been on it for about 2.5 years. On July 1st, it'll be 2.5 years. Not July, sorry, January 1st. It will be 2.5 years. July 1st is the yearly one. But anyways, I had the slower change, not the dramatic change like you would have. But I don't know if you remember male puberty or not. That would have been the same sort of gradual, but it's different. There have been actual studies on like how trans dudes' voices change while they're receiving HRT versus how cis dudes' voices change when they're just going through puberty. So it is different to an extent, but it's gradual-ish in the same-ish ways. And so, yeah, it's just been really interesting having gone to college for voice, hearing that difference in everything. I was a mezzo-soprano, so I was up there in my range often, and that was easy for me. And now that is what my falsetto is, and this is what's easy for me. And this is a range I didn't even have access to before. I would never even physically feel the vibration of my voice in my chest, which is so just common for me when I'm speaking now even. And then singing is so much fun too because oh gosh, I can sing so much more. The only thing that I don't like is that I have new voice breaks in new places.
Yeah, you gotta get used to it.
Yeah, the fact that the voice is still newish, I have to adjust for sure and learn how to navigate the new breaks that I have. But it's finally settled. After about a year, it shows to kind of plateau a bit for people who are taking HRT testosterone. So I've hit that plateau, but even now I still struggle with some of those breaks. So I'll have to learn how to kind of manage that when I sing now, but I love the sound of my voice so much. Speaking, singing, anything.
India doesn't know how debates work. Debates are not to win or lose. Debates are not to win or lose. Debates are to find a common ground between two things so that we can both be happy.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's what a debate is. It's hopefully for you to see a different light, but it's not about winning or losing. So if India thinks somebody's undefeated in debating, then you have no idea how debates work.
Absolutely. And debates, I would say, are for getting facts out there on both sides.
Exactly.
And teaching and learning from each other. And you can't even let people finish sentences. So like, and you don't know what respect is. So like, you're not able to learn. Therefore, we can't really have a debate.
Yeah, India just doesn't know what a debate is. She thinks it's talking over people She thinks it's disrespecting people, getting them mad, just like how I got her mad.
Rage baiting, exactly, right?
Right.
They'll try to rage bait us, and then we'll just
Projecting
be like, dude.
what? What am I projecting? That, like, I'm not projecting anything. I'm just saying that you don't know how debates work.
Which is a fact.
It's a fact. L rage bait, absolutely. L rage bait. All these rage bait debaters, they really piss me off. Edna Mode is one of them.
I don't let them piss me off because that means they're doing what they are out to accomplish, and I won't give that to them.
just make people mad, which is really funny that they don't want to get the real facts out.
I just try to Uno reverse it on them when I can.
Oh yeah.
We have a request.
Reject a premise or concede. Edna was also underage when debating, which is wild.
Did you hear that, Keaton?
Yeah, I heard that. Sorry, I was just pulling it down the notepad.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure.
Hello, BW. Oh, hello, BW.
Wait,
can I get your two pronouns real quick?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Alright, what we talking about here then?
Can you read?
Yeah, I'm a bit dyslexic though, I'm not gonna lie, so...
Oh, thank you for sharing. That's why I asked, actually. The prompt says that the primary driver of anti-trans policies is not protection, but a profound failure to comprehend the life or death stakes of non-affirmation.
Oh, okay, thank you. Wait, so are you all trans?
I'm
not
trans.
all of us. Not that it matters.
I was thinking of doing it, to be fair, because I really want to be a girl, but I don't know what you have to do.
What?
Do you have an insistent, consistent, and persistent sense of being a woman?
Yeah.
Are you on HRT? Are you going to go to a doctor to get HRT?
I'd say therapy's first.
Absolutely. But HRT is a big part.
I'm just thinking of doing it, to be honest.
You can't just do it. There's like the W path that you have to follow. So
yeah, you have to go to therapy,
and all that good stuff.
Go to a doctor, get HRT. You know, do the things.
Yeah, I understand. Wait, so are you from the United States then?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit different because do you have to pay?
Depends.
Because I'm in England, so I don't know if it's different.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to English doctors to find out what that would look like.
Well, if you want to be trans, welcome.
Exactly. I have a feeling that there's some disingenuous stuff going on right now, but
there is.
I'm just gonna give some education while we can. Nonetheless, for anybody else listening who's actually listening.
Oh, look at TikTok user 513.
Yeah,
right?
Do we just want to move on to that?
We can if you want.
Yeah, this is disingenuous.
Okay, well, thanks, DW.
If you want to get therapy though, like go do it.
Yeah, if it wasn't disingenuous. But either way, anybody who needs healthcare, if you have a sense of self that doesn't align with the sex you were assigned at birth, just start with therapy, and they can tell you what to do, for sure.
Well, hello, TikTok user 513. Can I get your age and pronouns, please?
Yeah, I'm 27, and my pronouns are he and him.
Discrete.
Oh, hey, hi.
Discrete comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay,
why?
Yeah, I mean, I just disagree. I think that, the other side of people that are skeptical or are against certain gender-affirming care for people who identify as trans, I don't think that it's solely because they cannot comprehend the idea that people can unalive themselves essentially because they don't have affirming care.
But you, by saying that, actually have just proven the point entirely, that you have failed to comprehend that it's not them unaliving themselves. It's actually other people harming them. That's the
I disagree.
The largest issue. Oh, okay. So, well, then you're just gonna disagree with science and statistics.
Exactly my words.
Yeah, like it's like we just have data that shows that
accountability.
What?
Yeah, I mean, let me explain my point just so that we're really clear, because I think that you're kind of misinterpreting what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just making the contention. One, I mean, we should start with this. I mean, anybody who unalives, there can be factors like that go into that. Obviously, like what's going on in their life, bullying. It could be a variety of factors. Some people just have mental breakdowns, right? So what you're kind of doing is you're starting from the assumption that the accountability for people who unalive themselves should just be cast out to anybody in society who disagrees with a view that they have. And I disagree with that. I think that that's actually kind of ridiculous.
No.
So no, the place that we're saying that it causes harm is the statistics that say that the lack of family support for transgender people is a large predictor of suicidal ideation, that the lack of family support also leads to poor mental health, substance abuse, and adverse life outcomes. And when parents actually support their children, the children do much better. The levels of depression are equal to those of their cis counterparts, and anxiety levels are near their counterparts as well. So it's actually not that, I'm not looking at this stuff. I'm actually looking in depth at the statistics that actually show us what the predictors are of these adverse outcomes. And the largest predictor is going to be affirmation, the lack of affirmation.
Sure. So you are essentially looking at a study. It's polling is what it is. So just to be really clear, I mean, and this is nearly 100% of the science that people are going to reference when they talk about this kind of stuff, when they disagree with me. It's polling data. So I mean, just from a fundamental level, if, like, for instance, polling data is that isn't really settled consensus, like this is objectable or objective scientific truth. That's polling data. That's totally different.
Yeah, but when we're talking about thousands of, or even tens of thousands of people being polled, yeah, that doesn't look good for your side. When it's showing clear, consistent patterns of harm from people from non-affirmation, like, that's just problematic. And also,
it's not problematic. It's, I mean, seriously, if you go to like a university and you tried to do like a PhD thesis and your entire science was based on polling, even if it was large numbers of polling, they would laugh you out of the room because it's not science. And the idea that anybody in your position would basically reference polling data and say, science backs me, ha ha ha, like no one knows science but me. And then you're referencing polling data. It's like, I don't know if you're being disingenuous or if you genuinely think that like just polling data is scientific, objective truth.
So what's your whole claim?
Yeah, what's the problem with polling data?
Well, I don't have an issue with polling data in and of itself, but you're using it to justify an entire point, and you're saying that the polling data is scientific evidence of what you believe. So you're essentially putting polling data. You're saying that polling data is the science, and I'm pointing out to you that if polling data is what you're using as science, that is insufficient.
And what's your counterclaim, like that people, that trans kids don't unalive themselves, or?
I mean, I've seen polling data that suggests both ways. There's polling data that suggests that gender affirming care in some instances can be helpful. There's other data that says that gender affirming care in other instances can actually be bad, or it cannot really have an effect on the overall outcome. So
you'd have to look at the methodology of these studies at that point to find out.
Yeah, but I know that it's polling data in and of itself.
I wasn't finished. I wasn't finished speaking. When you're looking at polling data, that doesn't mean that it's inherently like wrong or inaccurate in any sort of way. You look at the type of questions that are asked, the type of people that respond, things like that, and then you can actually find out if the methodology of these studies is sound or not. and you're just
I agree.
saying, but no. When
No,
you're
I'm saying
talking
at all.
about studies that show, this is the last thing, I'm almost finished here. When you talk about studies that show that suggests that gender affirming care can be harmful, we can look at the methodology of those studies and find out why that is inaccurate information and why these studies are not good versus
So
other
this is
polling data, which can be.
okay. So this is kind of hilarious because you just did what you told me I was doing, right? So I'm just pointing out that you can't use only polling data to make a scientific claim. You could speculate, you could say, hey, this is what I think, but you can't be talking to other people and say polling data objectively proves that my position is right because it's polling data. In itself, it can't do that. But what's so funny is you said, so you're like basically saying that you can't trust polling data, but polling data is supposed to be pretty good. I mean, like that's why they use it typically.
That's
And then
not at all what
and then
I
when I
said.
mentioned that there's polling data that goes the other way, you say, well, we could look at the methodology and figure out why it's wrong.
Well, there's also
So
data
if
that
any polling data goes against what you believe the polling data is wrong and skewed and that the method's bad. But if it's
Or we can see that it's
you think
right.
it's good polling data.
Hold on.
We
We
would
could
just have to
concede that it's right, but I'm not going to just blindly accept a source when I've repeatedly seen sources that have contradictory data, have huge methodological flaws.
So if you're aware that there's
let the host
data,
finish
why
speaking.
would you be up here saying that science?
Let him finish speaking.
Yeah, I was speaking there for a second. What do you think of something like a systematic review of literature on a topic?
You can unmute now.
Yeah, what was the question?
Well, what would you think of a systematic review of literature, looking at the humanistic and economic burden of conversion therapy?
Are you just saying the title of a study?
Well, yeah, that is part of the study. The study was looking at basically from 28 published studies. They look at the not only the humanistic, so like things like anxiety, depression, illicit drug use, that kind of side of things. Also, the economic burdens of things such as affirmative care versus no intervention versus SOGICE, which is sexual orientation and gender identity change efforts. Basically, conversion therapy.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not familiar with the specific study, but I want to point out because this also goes into other things, and I want to be fair. So, like, you're talking about, a study where they're incorporating a bunch of different studies and it's empirical data, and they're talking about anxiety, depression, gender orientation, sexual orientation. I want to point out to you all of the things that you just said that they're studying, all of them, without question, every single one of them is something that you would only find by essentially polling somebody. For instance, you don't go to the doctor and get a blood test to confirm you're depressed or you're anxious, okay? There's no actual scientific measurement they take. You go, you talk to a psychiatrist, and they basically ask you a bunch of questions and they poll. And based on your answers, based on how you respond, you could potentially get diagnosed as depressed or having anxiety. Or if they ask you about your gender identity and you say that it's non-congruent with your sex, then you'd be identifying as trans. So I want to point out that the data that you're talking about it literally only touches things that you can basically only describe through polling.
What about data that's like uncounted?
No, I don't dispute that there's a bunch of data about these polls.
I would be part of that data that's uncounted, because like I kept my, being trans under wraps for 30 years and went to therapy in my 20s to talk to a therapist and be like, if I just had enough money, I would transition, and that was what happened. And then I got into the film industry and started to transition at 30 when I couldn't take it anymore.
Congratulations,
girl. I don't think that you're
you did it. Also, real quick, everybody say hi, Astrid, and then maybe give her the talking stick.
Hi, Astrid.
Hi. So if all of that is just like polling stuff, why was my testosterone so much lower than a cis man's? and my estrogen was so much higher, and also like my brain chemistry when I transitioned. Hello?
Yeah, are you guys talking to me still?
Yeah. Listen, please.
Okay. Was there a question, or were you just asking about your voice?
What?
Someone said something about their voice and when they transition. Like
So what about that uncounted data that I'm talking about?
Yeah. So the uncounted data, like, I'm not disputing that there would be uncounted data.
We already went over that, but Astrid had a different question for you.
Okay. So what is the question?
Do you want me to repeat it so you don't have to, or do you want to go for it, Astrid?
Go ahead.
Okay. She asked why her testosterone is so much lower than like cis men's T, and why her estrogen is so much higher. And she also asked why her brain chemistry is the way that it is, aligning with being a woman, what she is.
Okay, and I'm assuming that this is somebody who would identify as trans.
That's up to them.
I'm just asking. I'm not trying to be disingenuous. Well, I mean, yeah. So I would ask her this, or yeah, her. I would ask her.
Mhm.
One, are you taking any hormones? Because obviously, if you're injecting hormones or if you're having any hormone therapy, then that would change your levels. So that would be number one.
I was not at that point. This was after my first blood test when I was on the wait list for HRT.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you are aware that it's not super common, but it is a fact that there are some men out there who have low T and they have high estrogen. They're not females, they're not women, but they do have imbalanced levels of chemicals.
So your whole thing is just using the polls as the data, is what you're arguing.
Yeah, you're just ignoring like the scientific data is your thing?
It's not that I'm ignoring scientific data. It's just that I'm saying that specific types of scientific data can only be used so far. Okay, so I didn't say the claim that all the polls are bad, they're all negative, and that they're completely meaningless. I'm just making the case that you can't sit here and say that I just disagree with objective science when, one, there's conflicting polls, and then two, we cannot state with absolute certainty that something is true just based on polling. Even the data around the polling doesn't prove it, because in nature it's polling.
So you're just ignoring the stuff that's not polling? Like
what is actually going on here? They're saying that their polls counteract our polls, and their polls.
And listen,
the polls are different.
TikToker, none of us said that what was I gonna say? God damn it, ADHD. But when it comes to polls, none of us said, because you said something that wasn't brought up before. I'm gonna remember. Hang on. Just give me like 2 seconds of silence. Thank you for accommodating me. Not it slipping away further. I'm just thinking about pans now, pots clanking together. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna bring it up and possibly interject if I do remember, so that I don't forget again, because it was very important. Because we actually agree on something, and that's what I wanted to bring up. But that's not how you framed it earlier, which is what we disagreed with. Anyway.
I mean, I've had the exact same position the whole time, and I feel like earlier, I'm trying to explain that I'm not just discounting all of science, and I'm not some anti-science guy. I'm just pointing out that, like, for instance, it's kind of like if you wanted to make a new drug or something like that, it has to go through rigorous testing where they're like, there's like legit actual scientific tests measuring a chemical level or something like that. We can't state scientific objective truth just based on polling data, no matter how large it is.
That was it. It's not, we never claimed that it was just polling data. Sorry, I got excited. There are other things like methodology behind these polls that I brought up earlier, that affect whether or not we trust these polls. So we don't think polling data alone is trustworthy. None of us are claiming that. So we agree that polling data,
The
just because it's
methodology
polling
of the
data, doesn't mean
polling
that it's
doesn't
accurate.
mean it's not polling. It's still
There-
polling. It can be clever and good polling, but it's still just polling.
Let me just ask you this: How would you try to figure out what to do with trans people without asking trans people how they feel about stuff? Like, I just don't see a way of like when we're talking
If I'm
about
not a
something
woman,
that's-
why am I in the kitchen?
Yeah, well, this is why this is such a debate in society right now, because what the trans community is lacking, and this is what would basically prove this to everybody, and nobody would argue about it. You have to find something that is observable and unique to trans people. It can't just be that they say that they feel this way or that they experience life this way. There has to be some kind of measurable, objective,
Self-identity
unique
is
thing.
unique to us.
Yeah, but self-identity is unique to everybody. It's unique to me. It's unique to you.
Exactly,
Mom
but
and your
like
dad,
you identify as a man and the host identifies as a man.
Yeah,
So
but you're identifying
that's-
as like a protected class in society,
we
which
call
no one
you
else
men
is
because you
using their
identify
unique
that way,
identity to
not
do.
because of anything else. We only because you identify that way do we refer to you that way.
Again, it doesn't stop what I'm saying from being
May I
true.
interject?
Yeah, go ahead, Astrid.
Go ahead, Ashton.
So if there's no objective proof, why does conversion therapy not work on us?
I mean, it would be like if you tried to take me and re-educate me on something that I really do believe, that I'm completely convinced of, it wouldn't work. So why doesn't trying to convince somebody of a deeply held belief not work? Well, because they have a deeply held belief.
Ooh,
I mean,
it's
most
not a
people with their
belief.
deeply held beliefs believe
It is
in
not a
them,
belief.
not even based on evidence. They just believe it.
No, it's not a
Do you know what
belief.
conversion therapy is?
Yeah, I know what conversion therapy is.
What is it?
Conversion therapy, like an example of this would be like dad finds out that his son is gay or something like that. So he sends him to a re-education camp, a conversion camp, where they are going to, I don't know how they would do it. I don't know the methodology, but they're trying to convert
Torture.
somebody
The
to...
methodology is torture. There's your hint.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Torture.
The methodology is torture. That's how they do it.
It's not
Electroshock therapy and the like.
It's not about
Okay,
actually
yeah,
trying
but
to find.
I'm not
a
some guy
solution.
sitting up here saying that I like conversion therapy, so I don't even know where that's coming
We're
from.
just
Well, that's
informing
the-
you because you said
I
you
don't know
knew
why
what
you
it
need to
was
inform
and you
me about
didn't.
that. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Hold
You
on.
didn't. You said you knew what it was and you didn't.
Yeah,
not
so
fully.
that is the alternative
Okay.
to affirmative therapy. Is
No, it's
conversion.
not.
What other therapy?
No,
is
it doesn't
there?
have to be one way or the other.
Oh, so we just do nothing. Well, I would just refer to polls again that showed that this actually leads to harm, because by introducing affirmative therapy, we have economic data that shows that this actually costs individuals less money in the
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to run into the issue of there are an infinite amount of things out there that cause harm. So just the virtue that something causes harm doesn't mean everybody should do something about it. There's only so many things that society and the government can actually get involved in and successfully help. So it's kind of, I think one of the big issues is like the trans community feels like the federal government and like the big dogs need to like get involved in this stuff. And I think most people are like, hey, this is...
We don't want them
probably not the
involved.
biggest issue.
Conservatives
I think
want
it
it
makes
involved.
Yeah,
We don't. We just want you to forget about us and respect us. That's it.
We are
Like, don't
pushing-
hyperfixate on
Well,
us.
you guys also want to codify in gender affirming care for
Well,
minors
that's
in
because
certain places,
conservatives
and
are
the
taking
data
it from
doesn't
us.
support adding it. So a
How
lot
are
of
we
people are
supposed to
upset about that.
respond when conservatives are taking our care away from us actively? Are we
Yeah, but
not
this is
supposed
the
to fight for
problem.
our
The data
rights?
on this is not settled. So you're basically saying that this should be
The
the
data
law,
is
even though
clear.
the data is not settled.
The
The
data
data
is
is
black
clear.
and white. There's absolutely
And the
no...
data is also polling.
No,
So
no,
I don't
but-
think that we should be
If
making
you
federal
think
laws
that
based on polling. I think that's
hold on.
just a
If there
poor
was,
idea.
if the data was unclear, then why does every single major medical organization agree with us and not you? Every single
Yeah, well,
one.
okay.
Astrid, it's a little
That's
different
correct.
here.
Well,
Yes,
not
single
every
one.
single major, maybe in
I don't know if
America,
TikTok-
Hey,
maybe there
TikTok-
are some
TikTok
big
user-
institutions that agree with you, but
No,
over
no,
the
no,
world,
it's-
that's not
it's in
true.
the
There's plenty of
worlds.
people who
It
think
is
that
in
it's
the
a
worlds.
bad idea.
Except
TikTok
for
user. I just put an article in the comments that shows that sex and gender are different in children,
Again,
by
I'm
Fee
not.
Jacobs.
Yeah. So like, but somebody is writing an article, and the way that they're confirming that is they're asking kids questions.
Okay. So
They're
you're
not putting them on an operating table and measuring the size of their brain or something and going, hey, this proves. It's like they're polling people.
so we ask any religion like how their religion is right, and we're just supposed to go based on the polls of that.
You don't have to believe in any religion. People
Right,
who believe
right.
in
You don't have
religion,
to believe
obviously,
in
there's a
trans
little bit of
people.
faith there, obviously.
It kind of just goes both ways. I mean, people always do that where they're like, this poll is wrong, but if we ask these people, they may also be wrong. We don't know. There's no scientific fact for religion, you know?
But,
I agree with you.
I
Yeah,
just
right
don't-
there with you. For instance, I don't think that we should take the Bible and take every law that's described in the Bible and then just codify that into our federal law. I think that
I
would be
agree.
a terrible
I agree with
idea,
you.
right?
I agree with you.
Well, that's what the
Yeah,
Bible
exactly.
says.
So it's
to do,
like when
though.
I'm this way either way, right? I'm not like I don't.
You're very middle ground, aren't you?
I just think that it should be like if you're going to make federal law and you're going to make a big cultural change in the United States, or you're going to recognize something that's going to shift the culture. I just think that it should be really transparent. I think that it should be very provable and easy, and I think that that's fair. I think that I'm just kind of asking for a reasonable amount of.
There are a lot of like
evidence.
scientific studies of not polling, in gender and trans health. I mean, there is a whole bunch of science in that.
Yeah, well, here's the other issue, and this is kind of indicative of I mean,
May I interject?
I think that you guys will kind of find this interesting, but like when I talk to people about the trans ideology and stuff like this,
It's not an ideology.
Yeah, it's not an ideology.
Birdify, I have to interject with this question.
Okay, set of
Also,
beliefs,
if you want
whatever you
other
wanna call it.
commenters like Cirilla to be muted, just say something. That's all.
I don't care.
But when I talk to people,
It's
I'll
brutal.
ask them like, what specific scientific study makes you completely convinced that all of this set of beliefs, all of these are true?
There's a bunch. I mean, you just have to do
And
your
people point me
research.
to polling.
You have to do your research on the science of HRT and how HRT works in the body and stuff. Like, I suggest that you do that, TikTok user. I do.
Yeah, but HRT
Also-
doesn't. That's not stopping the idea that this science is based on polling. It's
No,
not.
it does
But
stop
the-
it. It does
so-
stop it. It changes genes and chromosomes.
boy.
It changes a whole bunch of stuff.
It's like if you
TikTok
asked a bunch of people who you administered HRT to if they're happy. A lot of these people, the polling is inherently flawed because one, there's the bias of you're receiving
I feel
the
happier.
drug. So obviously you want it to work, and so your mindset's going to be this is positive. So
I feel happier.
We literally function better in
Well,
our
you've
daily
done it. You've
lives.
already-
We
I just wish I
function
had
better.
You did.
I
Our
wish I had
mental
more money.
health
In the
allows us to
United
function
States,
better.
trans people have been part of the United States culture for like
I'm not
its
saying
entire
that
history,
they have no history.
and
That's not
nobody
my
cared
point.
until Trump and his goons got in.
It's funny, like,
That
and
is
I'm not
true.
trying to be rude, but like, I'll say, like, you can't use polling data for all of this stuff. We just can't justify everything based on polling data.
Are you going to respond to what I just said?
Well, hang on, and when I talk to people on the other side, they throw the same things.
Stop
at
being
you. Religion, they
such a
throw,
man and
like,
answer the question.
everything.
Why don't you answer Astrid?
What is the specific question that you have for me?
You're not even listening? Yeah,
No,
that's
there's
very
just multiple
manly.
people talking. It's a little difficult to remember every
Yeah,
word.
it was
that
a little
comes up
loud.
here.
Okay, so historically, the U.S. has had trans people as part of their culture for its entire history, and the world as well. But I know specifically in the U.S., there are cases of people who were like prosecuted for like sex work, but not because they were a trans woman, but because they were a black trans woman whose clients were white. Like nobody
Is this a
cared.
lecture or is it a question?
Listen.
You fucking serious right now, dude?
I mean, that would prove historical data.
Yeah, and I just muted him because he can't figure out how to do it himself when he needs to.
That was wild.
Yeah, it's there's also like just piles of evidence of like we've tried other things with transgender people and they've all ended horrifically, except for affirming them. It's almost like, you know, trying to force people to be who they're not is not good for them. It's like I hate to say that this sounds like a wild idea, but the more I talk to people, the more crazy and woke I think I am, because like it's it shouldn't be crazy to think that people living their genuine lives are going to be the happiest. This is just
Period.
clearly going to be the case.
Real quick, before TikToker responds as well, just so that he can practice patience a little bit more, I'm going to do a little mod break. Tap that screen if you like these conversations. Share the live with your friends, and if you're op, still share the live with your friends. They're welcome here.
Oh, TikToker left.
Oh,
Bye,
poor
TikToker.
TikToker.
Honestly, it was good talking to TikToker. They were very middle
Yeah,
ground.
and we ended on a relatively decent note, I feel like. But yeah, still tap that screen, share the live. Yeah, and enjoy conversation.
Yeah, just to let you know, Cole, the people in the comments, the whole like sir thing, the he him thing, I don't really care about because I know who I am. I know what I sound like. I know what I look like. I'm she her. I don't care.
Absolutely. Period.
Yeah.
My name's Astrid.
Hi, Astrid.
Hi.
I'm Birdie. Well, I go by Birdie or I go by Timberly. So whatever you want to call me.
Birdie. Okay. Sorry, I've been calling you Bird, but Birdie. Got it.
Yeah, people have been calling me Birdie. I don't know. They adopted it. So I'm adopting it too.
We love that.
Can I just say you're very brave, and I'm proud of you for finally transitioning, even though
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I-
It's been a little bit of a journey.
I'll have to look into this more, but like, it's. How else do you expect us to get data about transgender people? Like, what the
Exactly.
fuck? Like, what the
There's
actual
historic
fuck do you expect
data.
us to do? Like, read
Even
the
if we're just
brains?
if we're just doing blood tests, even like something that physical, like you taking down like the levels of everything, it's kind of just like you're pulling you're using that data from different people. It's you're pulling their blood, kind of their blood data. So like that it's all just pulling, like all of it.
Yeah, they're
Essentially.
only introducing the idea of like somebody like just trying to figure out themselves, which is like gonna be the best way. Like that, like a person's going to be the most akin to. Actually, this is actually the case that people are the best. Like, an individual knows themselves better than their parents and everybody else around them. There have been some studies that have looked at like trans people from the outside in, but they tend to be a little bit more anti-trans than anything else, and they tend to have some quite serious methodological flaws of bias and stuff. Like the RGD studies by Lisa Lippman and stuff, which are just they're so bad. They're so horrid. They're so horribly biased. And clearly so. I don't understand how some of this stuff gets published, genuinely. I do not understand how it does.
And I really, so far, or I guess there are two areas in which I've seen scientific studies get through that it's just like, how the fuck, or there isn't information where there needs to be. And that is within the trans community and within the Black community, because there are certain things just about being more melanated that change the physical health care that Black people need versus white people. So like, I feel like finally catching up on that kind of thing. Like actually taking vitamin D is really important. Most Black folks are vitamin D deficient. So I know that might sound like I'm insinuating something else. I'm not. Just take your vitamin Ds. All right. Okay. Take them.
Speaking of race too, I love the argument when people are like, "Well, can I identify as another race?" I always tell them, I'm like, "Is there a medication to turn you another race? No."
Exactly. And
is there HRT for trans people? Yes.
I just tell them that race is a strictly or social construct based on phenotype, and that obviously that's not the same as the neuropsychosocial construct that is gender. So
sometimes I feel like GCs and people that disagree with trans are just so unintelligent that we have to dumb it down for them.
Right down to in talking stick. I just came up with like using that, I guess, today.
Yeah, that
on
was
lives,
fun.
and
that was
so
good.
I feel like it's working for a little bit. and then things get out of hand depending on the guest.
Yeah.
But it
Like Hello Kitty
helps
there.
for a second, so at least there's that, and it was fun. So yeah,
I think we
like
should have
that
just
too.
waxed India with the talking stick and let it, instead of letting her have it. Like, honestly, probably would have been more productive. And on that bombshell, I think it's time to end.
All right, it was a great stream.
Yeah,
Thank you to everyone that's here, everyone that's
No,
up.
thanks for letting me up.
hosting.
Thanks for letting me talk and everything.
And I want to
Oh,
say
absolutely.
thank you to the massive 2 YouTube viewers we have concurrently. It's wild.
Let's go.
Woo! Go YouTube.
All right. Okay. Well, have a good day, everybody. And
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, Astrid. Bye, Birdie.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Keaton.